I'm ready.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Um, Ms. Colston will be speaking on financial literacy for teens, and I have uploaded your presentation, so I'll just go through
Oh,
it.
fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you for just your time this evening. And I am so excited to be here. I've loved all of the Carnegie students that I've been fortunate to meet. And I've just had really wonderful interactions with those of you on the call that I've met too. So thank you for your time, but I know that evenings are precious. So let me go ahead and get right to it. So if you want to go ahead and move us to the next slide. Some background about me. My name is Kate, and I grew up in the Houston area, and I love this community. And I currently oversee a program that focuses on leadership and empowerment for high school girls here in Houston and in two other cities across the US. And one of the things that we talk about with our students is financial literacy. So we bring in a few experts, including a lifelong investor, a banker, and even somebody who worked at the Federal Reserve for many years. And we spend an entire day having meaningful and really open and very honest conversations about money with teenage girls. So I wanted to share a little bit of the insight that we've seen just from these discussions over the past 12 years, and I myself over the past 7. And I want to note here too that while our sample size is teenage girls, I think this information is really relevant to teenage boys as well. This is really a good introductory way to introduce the concept of money management. We found that this is great for us, and so we just wanted to share this information with you all tonight. So on the next slide, if you're comfortable, this is a practice we do with our students too. We have everybody close their eyes and take a big, deep breath in and think about your very first memory of money. Who's with you? Are are you in control of the money, or does somebody else have it? Are you at home? Are you in public? And when you think about this, what kind of feelings are you having as a child? What kind of emotions are provoked? So as an example, my first memory of money, I was really frustrated because I had discovered the tooth fairy. And this was a pretty steady stream of income for me. I decided to go ahead and start yanking out all my other teeth. And my parents are sitting me down and telling me that this is not a sustainable way for me to make money. And that made no sense to me because my teeth kept coming back. But I just remember this feeling of really intense frustration. Like, what do you mean you've cut me off already? And so just out of curiosity, maybe if you're comfortable putting in the chat, um, if you also had a frustrating or maybe negative in another way first experience with money, send me a word negative. And if you had a really positive first experience too, I'm also curious, maybe send the word positive. Maybe you got birthday money, or you got to buy some candy, or you found some cash on the ground and you got to keep it. Um, just very curious about the audience. And again, only if you're comfortable. Yes, celebration money, so fun. Oh, yes. Oh, that prevention from parents, the struggle. Birthday gift, I love it. Okay. Oh, allowance. Oh, that's impressive. Working for the money already. Um, so I do want to move on, but thank you so much for sharing these. Um, the point of this exercise is just to recognize, and if you want to go to move to the next slide, um, we all have really strong emotional associations with money, and it starts very young, and it's just a human inclination that we have. Money can evoke a lot of emotional responses in us. Our emotions can directly influence how we manage our money. And so when we introduce the concept, we like to pivot emotional management and money management skills really at two equal components that come towards financial independence. And for the purpose of today, when I talk about emotional management, I want to focus on a healthy self-esteem because we talk about where that regulation comes from. And so we'll get into what a healthy self-esteem looks like. If you want to move to the next slide. So here's the deal, right? Money's fun. It's awesome. Feels great. Again, evoking that really positive experience. Maybe we get to go to the movies or go to a concert and buy new video games. And I don't know, I'm not a big meat eater, but I put a steak on here because it feels fancy and expensive. And on the next slide, we see this other side of money, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel so great when you're out of lack. It really can put you down in the dumps. Can you be at peace driving around a 12-year-old car, or maybe furnishing your home with things that you found by the dumpster behind your house, which, by the way, was my college apartment. Not the best. Yes, ticket on the car, been there. And so this relationship that we have with money, right? It feels awesome, and it can also feel really terrible. And where self-esteem comes in is being at peace with your means on both ends of the spectrum, not letting it influence how you handle and view yourself. So on our next slide, when we define a healthy self-esteem, we really emphasize that this can help you make smarter long-term and short-term spending decisions. So it's really crucial. And what we look at is having a really strong sense of self, right? Do I like myself if I don't have my fancy perfume, if I maybe a little musty one day? Or really, can I say no when I don't need something and feel confident in that decision? Can I feel at peace making this call to myself and then presenting it to other people? We also talk about a sense of belonging, and this feeling of, do my friends still like me if maybe I can't afford or don't want to pay to go on this trip? Do I have to spend money to go out with my friends and to be accepted? Or do I have enough people in my life that really love me exactly as I am? And then the last thing that we talk about is this belief that you can and will recover if needed. If something goes wrong, am I going to be able to make it through that? Can I handle it? Am I okay right now? And these are all things that come with the journey of growing your financial independence. Sometimes you're in college and you're broke, and you are sitting on your dumpster furniture, and then your dog eats something that they shouldn't, and you have a $2,000 vet bill. There's two ways this can go, right? Either I'm going to struggle a little bit and then I'm going to be okay, or oh my God, the world is ending. And both of those can really alter your reality in that moment. And so all of these components to this healthy self-esteem can contribute to making clear-minded and level-headed decisions. If we want to go ahead and move to the next slide. So I stole this model totally from one of our usual presenters. There's a very smart man who comes to talk to our students every year who is adamantly anti-PowerPoint. So you'll have to bear with my hand-drawn graphic here. Yes, pun intended. So really, he always uses his whole hand for an hour. But he talks about how the key to life and really knowing what you want is modeled here. And we start with personal freedom, building up that self-esteem and that confidence, and really believing in who you are and what you're doing. Personal freedom is always the prelude to financial freedom here. And then with financial freedom comes doing what you love, where you love, and with people you love, or in whatever order is important to you. But really, what's to note here is that it all draws back to this personal freedom, really developing this self-esteem and intuition strong enough to survive all these voices we hear all the time telling us who we should be and what we should want and exactly how much it costs. And really driving home this point that money comes and goes, but our relationship with ourselves will be here our entire lives. So it's worth that attention and that investment first. So on the next slide, laying out all this information, what are teenagers asking for? When we present this, there's really three things that are actionable items that can be really good for starting to have these initial, like, hey, you're going to be on your own soon conversations. And so one of the things that they talk about is explicitly drawing that connection between financial literacy and their own personal confidence. And we find that teenagers sometimes don't make that association automatically, especially in our really powerful social world of influencer marketing that's 24/7 messaging. And it can be really helpful to draw explicit attention here, and really calling out when people are selling an identity and an idea alongside a product. So buying this protein powder can make you so buff, and look at that, you got a date and you're super happy with your life. We see this all the time in pharmaceutical commercials too, right? Not necessarily targeted towards teenagers, but this idea of like, take a pill and you can frolic through life forever. And maybe it's worth having that conversation like, hey, do you think you can frolic without having to spend any money? And so really driving that point home. They're also looking for opportunities to self-manage. Outside of high school, we would call that responsibility, but nobody really wants to ask for more of that. So our fun term here is empowerment over finances. If they find that they really want the opportunity to make money and then reap the benefits of saving it. And so one of the things that we encourage is having an intentional goal setting and conversation, maybe with yourself and maybe pulling in other people. Oh my gosh, frolicking, it should be free these days, but you know, who knows how things will go in the next couple years. Um, so, anyways, giving them the opportunity to go on this journey from maybe saying, I want to save $500 over the summer, and 250 of it will go towards savings, and the other half will go towards my trip to a field day with my choir group. Letting them experience this journey of deciding to make money and choosing to spend it and maybe making a mistake and then recovering from that and taking this nonlinear path. We find that this is really exciting for them, even though many may not say that word. And we also have students tell us like, well, I don't think I can take this on. This is a lot. I already have so much with school. And I would always say it's worth having that conversation. Well, we believe you can handle this. We believe that you can do this. And I think that you should believe in yourself that way too. Starting small and giving them that free rein. And then another thing that we find is confidence building language. And what I mean by this is really any mistake, most mistakes that people make, probably someone else has made before and been okay. Obviously can't cover all bases here, but they love to hear the real deal. And our experts who come in who have had amazing careers in finance have actually made really horrible mistakes that they talk about honestly, like accidentally buying a car because they didn't read all the paperwork, or choosing not to buy renter's insurance and then experiencing a house fire and to this day needing a co-signer. And so when they hear that, you know, someone else not only recovered, but actually had a pretty awesome life afterwards and can show up in a really cute blazer, two things happen. They tend to want to avoid making the same mistake. They say, "Ooh, I don't want to go through that. I'm not going to do that." And B, believe that they'll be all right too. That, oh, they hit a really low point and they turned out okay. And they more easily adopt this attitude of like, oh, I can make it through whatever. And so on that note, I want to leave us with, on the next slide, this concept of preservation of self. It's what prevents us from making bad decisions and can motivate us to recover when we do make those bad decisions. So it's worth knowing exactly what you're preserving. That taking good care of yourself and investing in yourself can really help develop a strong financial intuition. So that is everything that I have today. On the next slide, I will say that this is one of many things that we talk about with our students. We spend entire days on assertiveness for young women, global citizenship, conflict resolution, media literacy, self-defense. And I would love to see more Carnegie students there in the future. We've had some really amazing standout alumni from Carnegie in the past. So if you're interested in enrolling your daughters, please feel free to contact me with questions at any time. This QR code will lead you to an interest form, and I will personally email you when applications open as a reminder to say, hey, we have this opportunity for high school girls. We have ample scholarships available if needed. and our applications open January 1st. So that is everything that I have. I'm happy to take questions if we have time, but I know that it's late and everybody needs to work tomorrow too. So please let me know if I can provide anything further.
Thank you so much, Kate. This was fantastic. I do see we just have like a minute left. If anyone has questions, please post them in chat and Kate can respond. But in the meantime, I do want to go back. I think there were a couple of other questions that folks had put in that I do want to bring up. And if some of our faculty is here and can help us to answer these, I'll kind of pivot towards that. But Kate, I do want to say thank you so much for coming. This is a really great program. I know a couple of parents that have sent their girls to this and really come back glowing. So I encourage anyone that's on here that does have young women that might want to do something fun in the summer and hasn't decided yet. Definitely think of this as an option. I have two boys, so I'm actually really bummed you don't have this for young men. But thank you for coming on today.
Of course. I think we'll get there soon. I believe it. We hear that all the time, and we would love to provide that. So it's definitely included in our long-term goals. And thank you all so much again. I'm so grateful for your time and your attention this evening. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hop off just so that
Yep.
you guys can go ahead and get